Hello and welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. We're here once again to talk everything Arsenal, everything Gooner, and it feels a little bit weird coming to you after an FA Cup tie because, well, let's be honest, we haven't lost one in quite a long time, in the fifth round again, and once again drawn at home versus a Championship side, or not only a Championship side, versus our perennial rivals, shall we say, our perennial FA Cup rivals, Hull City. We'll get onto that in a little bit. Once again, I'm here with various esteemed members of the Arsenal supporting fraternity, both of whom are collaborators like myself on Vavel. So please do visit vavel.com. Little plug there, sorry Andy, but had to be done. And with me again is Mr. Rob Tomkinson. So you jumped in a little bit early because I had to get your surname in there. Just a little bit of a.
Well, it's so long that I just jump in now.
It's Tonkinson, as in Stephen Tonkinson, yes, or is it Tomkinson? I can't remember.
It's Ton.
Yeah, that sounds.
It's very irregular spelling of that sort of variety of surname.
Okay, that might be another story for another day.
Yeah, that is.
and also there's another newbie to the show. Is Conor? Is it De Smith? Am I right in saying that?
D Smith, I think.
Smith.
The correct pronunciation.
So is that French?
I've been told by my dad it's Belgium.
Belgium, yes. As in De Bruyne.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Conor De Bruyne. Maybe not. Are you any good at football?
I'm not actually.
Okay.
That's why I'm talking about it rather than playing.
Touche. Nice. As I like to ask every new member that comes onto the show, could you introduce yourself a little bit and how you started supporting the mighty Arsenal?
Well, strangely, my dad supports Ipswich.
Is he really? Goodness me.
Yeah, he does. And Mum's all Liverpool. So my dad tried to blood me as an Ipswich Town fan from a very young age, despite living in London. And I think after a few years, he just kind of gave up. So I wasn't interested in Marcus Bent or Dean Bowditch or whoever they had at that time.
Do not slag Dean Bowditch. I just like to say at this point, Ipswich is my second team.
Yeah, good club.
So
but,
we'll try not to turn this into the Ipswich Town podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob.
But I wasn't transfixed with Ipswich, but he told me to support the local team, and living in Crouch End, the most local fashionable team were Arsenal, so I came about.
Yeah, that makes sense. So who's your idol as an Ipswich Town fan, really? So for someone who's 18 years old, a baby.
As an Ipswich Town fan?
Yes, just quickly.
Well, I haven't paid much attention to them over the years, but
would you say?
They've had a couple of good players.
Jordan Rhodes before Roy King flogged him off to Huddersfield.
Yeah, was Darren Ambrose, was he Ipswich?
Yes, for many years.
Yes, so probably them two.
I think he was bad early, but yeah,
he's had about 3 spells. But anyway, let's not talk about Ipswich, as I said. Sorry, listeners. So another FA Cup win. Burnley was always going to be a tricky customer. They found a little bit of form. I mean, they started the Championship season really poorly, but Sean Dyche has got them firing again. It seemed like quite a balanced side. I mean, when we scored first, I thought, wow, that's great. A highly unexpected source, really. Although he has, Conor Chambers has got a few goals, so perhaps it's not that expected for someone who rarely plays. But it was good to see. And obviously, most exciting to see was the return of Coquelin. And not just Coquelin, but having an El-Neni partnering him in midfield. Rob, do you see that partnership staying? It's really difficult because I see more, so long as everybody else is fit, I think we'll still see Ramsey and Coquelin.
I would probably say that Ramsey and Coquelin would be my first choice partnership in that area. I think with El Nene, you do have the option now at least to have the pair of them in those bigger fixtures. Thinking about going up to Old Trafford and White Hart Lane and the Etihad especially, you do have those two to be a bit more.
It's a plan B, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of having to have just someone alongside Coquelin or Flamini, which hasn't always worked.
No, indeed, but yeah, particularly with Flamini. So that was really good to see them back together, despite Kieran Gibbs' best efforts to take him out during the game, which in hindsight is absolutely hilarious. But when at the time he was down for a good 10 seconds, and I was a bit, what have you done, Kieran? Goodness sake.
What got me was he started to lose his footing around the edge of the penalty box, and he took him out towards the edge of the D. So he travelled quite a distance to ensure that he took him.
Yeah, it's like he lunged to take him out. It's extraordinary, isn't it? So it's crazy to think we've actually now got two defensive midfielders that are actually just not that rubbish.
El Nene, he did seem to go forward. I think probably because we were playing Burnley and not, as you say, Manchester United.
Well, the way we set up with, I think El Neni probably assumed Ramsey responsibilities because it would be totally unlike Wenger to just completely change the system, and he's still going to have one sit back and one go forward, as he did with Cazorla and anybody else who's been there, and to a lesser extent Flamini, and certainly to a less successful extent Flamini. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how that works. I mean, I can't really see El Neni being first team just yet, but with the amount of injuries we have, he's certainly a good backup player without shadow of doubt. So great to see Alexis back on the score sheet. His pass for Chambers was lovely. He had four men on him. He slipped he nutmegged. I think it was Ben Mee. I can't be sure with that. And then Chambers just with a really tidy finish. What can we expect, Conor? What can we expect from Sanchez for the rest of the season? Do you think?
I think we have missed him a considerable amount with Walcott and Joe Campbell on the wings. And Joel Campbell.
What's your opinion of Joel Campbell, by the way?
It's fitting that we're playing Southampton tomorrow.
Right.
Is it tomorrow?
It is tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow. Because I went to the League Cup game last season where Alexis scored that amazing free kick. And I almost gave up on Joel Campbell at that point because he didn't get involved in the game, his passing was sloppy, and he didn't track back at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did.
Yeah. But this season, I mean, you can see he's just improved as a winger just drastically. He's been probably one of my favourite players of this season just for that reason, just how far he's come on. And I keep him in the team 100% at this point.
Yeah, me and Jack have discussed this, and it's like his work rate is superb, which perhaps we didn't see before. But he's also got a really great eye for a pass. His vision is it's really good. And me, when we play Barcelona in just a couple of weeks' time now, he has to start that game because without him, I don't think we'll get the work. Certainly, won't get the work rate from Theo Walcott if he plays, which at the moment he doesn't. I know the pace might trouble Barcelona, so maybe, but
I wouldn't start him against Barcelona. I don't think Theo Walcott. I think Alexis, if fit, and Joel on the wings, I think would be my preferred two.
Yeah, I mean, we'll cover that in the next couple of weeks. I can't remember what the date. I think it's the 22nd of February or something like that when we play them. And it's at home first, isn't it? The Emirates.
Yeah.
Kelsbury's. So honestly, I can't remember the last time when we lost an FA Cup game, because obviously we won the trophy the last two times.
Blackburn at home, was it? Colin Kazim Richards, I think, scored in that game.
Was it Blackburn at home?
Yes.
Goodness me. Well, so I'll give you a statistic. In the last 11 cup games, official cup games, non-semi-finals and quarter-finals, we've played 9 at home and just 2 away. It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent luck. I mean, when the draw's made, the balls are really falling for us. You can't really. I mean, at the moment, you can't. If we beat Sunderland and beat Burnley and beat Hull on our way to the quarterfinals, goodness me. I mean, that's pretty fortunate. I mean, looking at other plum ties with the round, obviously it's Chelsea, Man City, without a shadow of a doubt. So one of them have gone, and I tipped Derby to beat Man United. But Man United, to their credit, played pretty well. So, but Shrewsbury away is very different. So with a bit of luck, they'll be gone. And then, as it happens every other season, all the big teams are just sodding off, and it just kind of leaves us to mop up the pieces. And in the year now that it's the Emirates FA Cup, it's ours more than ever. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what would you, Tob? What would you rather win? The FA Cup for the 3rd time running, or not just win the Premier League, but just to go very close to it, so if we got eliminated from the cup, to focus on the Premier League.
So, when you say go very close, are we winning the FA Cup for a 3rd time and coming 2nd, or are we winning the league? That was my choice.
Second. Second. Obviously, we'd all prefer to win the Premier League. Right?
Yeah. I want to win the cup for the 3rd time. Obviously not above the league, but I would much rather, if we finish, I don't want to say 4th because that probably means we finish below Spurs, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think.
I firmly touched my desk and you wrapped it.
It's history, and I would take that. I mean, no one's done it in 130 years since we were founded, so let's win it for a 3rd time. But we're going to win it for a 3rd time anyway. Do the double.
I mean, it would be incredible. That's what I mean. Just to win it 3 years in a row in this era, as well. This is not like the era of the old West Brom and the old Burnley and the old Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. This is Arsenal in 2016. So to win it a 3rd year running would be.
It's impressive. We should have done it 10 years ago as well, anyway. When you think about it, we lost the 2001 final and then we lost the 2004 semi-final when we had the best team in the country. So
it's a very good point. Although then you could say also that United completely and utterly dominated us in the final a couple of years later, and despite us not doing anything, we won on penalties just because that's how he opted to roll the team out.
Right, it's true.
So yeah, I don't know. You would suggest now that we're in the quarterfinals. I'm not going to take Hull lightly, but I mean, Conor.
I mean, I'm quietly confident. I think we will go past Hull at home as well. I think we can go all the way. Certainly get to Wembley for the semis, depending on whether we draw United or Chelsea or City. But I think we can go and win it for the 1st straight time.
Yeah.
I think we're favourites to see off Hull. I like how it's almost we're always worrying about drawing Bayern or Barca in the Champions League, and it must be quite frustrating for Hull to deal with that with Arsenal.
Yeah, one of the editors in the office said, I cannot believe we've got Arsenal again. It's like we are literally. It's becoming a rivalry.
Yeah.
Only a rivalry in the sense that we win all the time and they lose. So that's quite an unbalanced rivalry. But
rivalries I kind of like, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm well up for more of those. Certainly in the light of Chelsea loss, but we'll talk about that. A little about Iwobi, the man who looks like he's wearing slippers when he's running, playing football. I think it's awesome. He just looks so calm. And I know Twitter was full of vitriol against Theo and Oxlade-Chamberlain. He said, well, Iwobi's better than the two of them. I mean, Rob, is that a fair opinion?
I mean, right now he's definitely playing better than the both. I don't know if I'd throw him straight into a Premier League game straight away. I think he's got more to prove from there, but he's looking good at the minute, and it's another good prospect. And I was thinking, I think it was the Sheffield Wednesday game, we got absolutely hammered. Although there were circumstances in that game which probably went against us. That is our youth team as good as it was perhaps say 5 or 6 years ago, and we had people like Wilshere and I guess Coquelin as well coming through. We thought, oh yeah, we've got this youth team that's going to provide for us for the future. But he looks like another one of those that is coming through, and we can be very hopeful about.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, the thing is, I think we've said similar things about Oxlade-Chamberlain, and unfortunately for me now, he's, as I've said on the show before, I think it's time for him to go on loan, just to keep his progression going. And it's, maybe he could have gone on loan in this window, but having said that, it's probably worth giving him a shot still until the end of the season.
I think he's in that. He's one of those players we need to keep, because we do just get so many injuries that you don't want to loan him out and then regret not having him at the club just to have a shirt, basically.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and obviously Iwobi started probably arguably not as impressive as Oxlade-Chamberlain did in the fleeting appearances he made and in his Arsenal career, but I think Iwobi's got a good head and shoulders. So
I see Iwobi as a striker in the future rather than a winger. I think, for me anyway. I think for the under-21s, I think he played century a lot, and he was quite central against Burnley as well. So I see him as, I'd keep Chamberlain as well, because I don't think Iwobi, sorry, Cat is an out-and-out winger. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you could always have the Thierry Henry approach where he started as a winger and then pushed forward. But you're right in saying he did play quite centrally for the under-21s. So yeah, I think watch his space. Little word on Ospina in goal. Conor, what did you make of his performance?
Better than some of the performances we've seen this season. I'll give him that.
Olympiacos being one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I think he did. I don't think he did too badly. I think in the first half he kept us in the safe when our centre backs were going walkabout. So I don't think, 7 out of 10 maybe.
No, that's decent.
Yeah, I don't think it was too disappointing or anything. I thought he was good.
He made a good save from, I think it was Andre Ward when he was 1-on-1, and he just pushed it away. But which is not always that easy for a goalkeeper who doesn't play that often. And there's obviously his confidence relatively is rock bottom at the club. So I think that was quite good to see.
Quite impressed with the team selection. I know was it 9 changes we've made, but
something like that. Yeah,
I think it was still quite a strong team, and it shows that we're still respecting the competition. And yeah, I think a lot of teams have shown respect to the FA Cup this season, because there hasn't been too many upsets this year in terms of the top 6 of the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, and I suppose depending on how you view that, it's always good to have the minnows of football, but largely the minnows have fallen by the wayside. So, and whether it means having more Premier League clubs in a big tournament as the FA Cup, whether it makes it stronger, I don't know. I mean, some would say that because there's not as many lesser teams, that it's not as it's not as grand anymore. But I don't know. I think that you could point the argument either way. What was I going to say? Yeah, so let's move away from the FA Cup. Thank goodness, and let's concentrate on Southampton, which is tomorrow night. I don't know. I would think the players will be out there tomorrow wanting to avenge what was frankly just an absolute drubbing. I mean, just an awful shambolic performance, which happens away from home occasionally. It'll be interesting to see whether Southampton play Charlie Austin up front from the go, or Shane Long, or both. I think he might play both, Ronald Koeman. So how do we go about, Rob, stopping Southampton and just preventing a humiliation?
My first worry is how we conceded the goal on Saturday against Burnley, which was that ball across the box, finding Sam Vokes, and now they've got Charlie Austin thinking, oh Christ, that might be what they tried to do against Gabriel and Koscielny.
I have no doubt that they will try and do that. I mean, I'm concerned about Koscielny at the moment, which is not having the best of form, and together, Mertesacker's out, so it will be Gabriel and Koscielny, and the two are very similar. And you saw against Burnley that there was a lot of miscommunication, which is that is concerning with the sort of the pace they've got in behind with Mane and Long.
Yeah, with Mertesacker out there, they can't quite abuse our centre backs, Shane Long, like they did before so much. But it is a bit worrying that Mertesacker seems to have a bit of a calming influence on Koscielny, which Gabriel doesn't quite have, probably because he's 5 or 6 years his junior,
and he's a complete psychopath.
Yeah, and that too. He's basically wearing Martin Keown's shirt, so
which is great to see, but it's just it's slightly misdirected, I think, right now. And whilst it's great to see a player with fight, which rarely happens in an Arsenal shirt these days. It's good to see, but Conor. So Bellerin will come back in tomorrow, and Monreal. So you'd hope there'd be more of a defensive stability, but I'm not so sure. Like, what do you think?
I think with the goal we conceded against Burnley, I think it was communication between Chambers and Gabriel. I think having Bellerin, who's, even though he's young, is a lot more experienced. I think having our set-back four without Mertesacker, obviously, I think it will help us. Like, I think we'll be okay. I don't think if they do play two up front, then I think it might, because it causes a lot of problems against Burnley. But it's almost their defence that I'm worried about. With I think, is it 3 games without conceding now?
Yeah, I think you are correct. Yeah, they've definitely got their act together after a really dodgy period. And it depends how they roll out their formation, whether they play the 3 centre backs. I think it was you had Cedric and Target as wing backs, and then Bertrand, Van Dijk, and Font at the back 3. So it's going to be quite difficult to, there'll be a lot of overlapping runs, and it'll be quite difficult to get inside them. So I think that could be an issue.
Sorry, Jordy Classy and Wanyama.
Yeah.
I think they do a job as well. I don't think it's the back 4 or back however the many they might play. I do think they're going to be difficult to break down, even at home. It depends as well if they decide to have a go or sit back. But I think they haven't.
I can't see them sitting back. I cannot see that.
But I don't think they've allowed their opponents many shots, let alone goals. So I think they're going to be a good unit to break down tomorrow.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, arguably they haven't played the likes of our a sort of attacking side. Goodness me, they played Man United, who like the less said about their attacking. We love talking about it, how just completely ineffectual and rubbish it is. So I think it might be a different kettle of fish for them, certainly, but I think we'll have to see. So yeah, Ramsey should come back in. Would I be correct in thinking that? In your opinion, with Coquelin and then Sanchez, Ozil.
Have we seen Ramsey and Coquelin this season? Or I think Palace was at Selhurst Park when they last played together.
We've not seen the partnership actually. Not for a while. No, you're right. So that will be interesting to see. I've no doubt. I've no worries about it. I don't think. But again, we can't really judge it yet, because once they get as a 2 that are consistently playing, then that's it's slightly different to having like a one-off. I fancy Sanchez to turn up tomorrow night. That shadow of doubt, and hopefully, can you see us? First of all, would you see us conceding a goal? What do you reckon?
Yes, just because it's always on the cards. We always concede a goal.
Right. Yeah, well, the hope is that would it be Petr Cech's 100? Has he got 170? Or was it 169? Yeah. Would it be?
He's got the 170th now.
171st Premier League clean sheet if he did, and that's probably quite a big if. And then Giroud up front, I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And with Leicester playing Liverpool, that's tough. That's tough to call that. I think personally, I think Leicester will turn over Liverpool, but could go either way, that one. As it is on deadline day, we are on transfer deadline day, and we haven't done anything else, and certainly we're not set to. There was a little bit of some rumours last night about Isco coming in. I think he was offered for 25 million, but I think his wages might be a stumbling block because they're quite high. I mean, I'd love Isco for £25 million at Arsenal, but I don't think it's the right moment, and we do still have quite a lot of players coming back. Yeah, and we'd be remiss of ourselves not to talk about rather large managerial news today that
Tony Sheringham got sacked.
Did he really?
Stevenage, yeah.
Oh.
So this obviously the second biggest news of the day was that Pep Guardiola is going to take over at Man City in the summer. It's probably the worst kept secret in just the world of football over the last couple of months and weeks. But it means that this season is so much more important now, and this is our best chance that we'll get probably in the next 3 or 4 years to win the league, I would have thought, because I cannot see if it's Wenger against Guardiola. Guardiola's just, he's beaten him so many times, and it's like he's an Uber Mourinho to Wenger. I think there's more respect there for sure. So then next season you could have a scenario where you get, say, LVG gets the boot, and you have Jose at Man United, and Pellegrini at Chelsea, Wenger, Klopp, and Guardiola. I mean, it's a fantastic thought. I think it's very exciting for the league, and it would certainly stamp the Premier League's trademark as the best league in the world, which I think it's been for quite a bit now. So it's so important that we actually now we have to give this title. We have to win the league title this season. We have to really give it a go. Conor?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Pep and Manchester City could create a dynasty almost, like he's been used to with Bayern and Barcelona. Not on the same level, obviously.
Well, can I get your opinion on that? Just digress slightly. That there's some people say that he just basically inherited richly talented squads in Barcelona and Bayern.
He did inherit talented squads, but I think it's almost the you make your own luck kind of thing, where he did inherit talented squads, but he is keeping them winning, and he is just adding to his trophy collection. So I'm begrudging him for going to Bayern or Manchester City. I don't really go along with that.
I still think he's an exceptionally talented coach, and
there's no doubt about that.
I mean, listening to Guillaume Balahaye talk about him a couple of years ago, before he moved to Bayern, actually it was, and he was saying about how they chose him over Mourinho because he did such a great job with Barcelona B. I think there was a friendly between the two sides, and Barcelona B absolutely battered the first game. So there's no doubt he's got credentials. Yes, he's inherited two very good squads. Obviously, I think that Barcelona team needed a bit of work. He shipped out Ronaldinho and brought in Busquets as well, was someone that he promoted from the youth team, as well as a few others. Yeah. And obviously the Bayern team was a team that won the treble the year before. But he wouldn't get these jobs if he'd just looked into these things. I don't think that, and I think there's plenty of examples of managers that have got very good squads that have done worse than what they should. Underachieved is probably the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me is basically he's going to go there and he's going to have a blank checkbook. And I don't hate Man City. I don't dislike them as much as United and Chelsea, and obviously Spurs. But Spurs are, an irrelevant in this matter as far as I'm concerned. And he's going to go there, and as you say, Rob, he could quite easily create a dynasty, and there's every chance that the likes of, or one of the likes of Messi or Neymar could end up at Man City. If not this summer, then in the next sort of 3 years, which is, if that's the case, I mean, So, yeah, it's exciting news. Kind of, I'm quite an unbiased person, but it's kind of a bit scary. Really. I think it's quite funny listening to all the Man United fans. It's like, oh my god, they're basically just going to hide behind the sofa now for 3 years. I think.
Well,
yes, and nothing else is really happening on transfer window day. Berahino's maybe not moving. Probably won't move now.
No.
I think the biggest move is. Sorry, Conor.
Debussy's going. So
he is going. Yes, I would. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, he's going to Bordeaux on loan.
Yeah. So that's something at least. If we're not bringing someone in, then
is that a risk though?
Chambers can play right back.
No, he can, but not particularly. Not particularly well. So if Hector got injured, I think we might be a little bit. I think that's a risky move. I
see what you mean, but he's not Arsenal quality. I think he started well.
I agree. He started very well. And it was the injury he suffered. Now, who was it when he got shoved into
Nautovic.
Yes, against Stoke. You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Where I think that was that Ozil's debut. Am I right in saying that? Possibly.
No, it was like January time.
I think Ozil was Sunderland, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ozil was at Sunderland's
home debut. Maybe his home debut. No, am I completely barking up my tree?
Wait.
Alright, fair enough. And
it's the second season for a start.
Right. Okay. It's been a long day. So yeah, you're right. And it was Arnautovic that kicked Debussy into the hoardings, and he suffered a dislocated shoulder. I think I'm right. And he was never quite the same person to me. He was obviously out for 3 months, and then by that time he lost his place to Hector, I think it was. So it's a shame for him. I'm surprised he's gone. Not such a surprise he's gone on loan back to France, but I thought he might go to someone like Villa. Although having said that, everyone just seemed to give up playing football as. So maybe that wasn't. If he wants in Euros, maybe that's a good move for him. But hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. I don't know if we've got a recall option on him. Which on the subject of, it's nice to see Serge go out on loan again, albeit to Charlton, because goodness, they're going to need someone like Gnabry if they're going to avoid the drop from the Championship. Rob, your views on that?
Yeah, it's a decent. He didn't get any playing time at West Brom, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I think he does need that time at a Premier League club. I mean, he had I think 2 years ago, was it? He had a very good couple of games. I think Swansea, he played very well against.
Yeah.
And we all thought, here we go, we got another one, and I don't really think he's made much of an impact since then. So hopefully they'll get some playing time at Charlton because they're in such a mess.
I imagine he will, or as some of my Charlton supporting fans would say, I don't think anyone really knows what's going on at the club. They've had such a... They're in disarray, and I mean, I think if they can just stay up, then that would be an achievement. And hopefully Serge can not only keep them up, but then get some good experience under his belt. Because let's not forget, he's still very young, and he's German. So I mean, if you're German, you're just almost, it's in your DNA to be good at football. So we'll see about that. Anything else you want to cover, lads?
Not for me, I don't think. I can't think off the top of my head.
That's
no.
Fair enough.
No.
Fair enough. Just had to throw it out there. Can we get a prediction for you tomorrow night for the Southampton game? I'll come to you, Conor, first.
I'll say 2-1 to Arsenal.
Oh, I was going to say 2-1. I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
Can't be usurped. Had to go for the extra one. Okay, I think, like you say, I can't see them not scoring. I'll go 3-2. I'll go 3-2.
3-2.
It'll be a good game. As long as we win.
2-0 down? 3-2?
I hope it's not 2-0 down. I think we'll take the lead and they'll equalise, but I don't need to run you through like my prediction and my thoughts for the game. So we'll see how that turns out. And who are we playing at the weekend? I've completely forgotten.
Bournemouth.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, and it's at Vitality, isn't it? Not? Yes, it must be. Yeah. So that's obviously not going to be an easy game. Although the fact that they attack, you would think that plays into our hands a little bit, and that I think we'll probably be able to overwhelm them. I think. Again, they might score, but I think that'll be too much for them. I think we'll wrap it up there, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, Conor. Can we have your Twitter handle if you have one?
Mine is dsmith19. So it's DE Smith 19.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for joining us on your debut here.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem at all. Rob, cheers. What is your handle for us?
It's Rob Tongerson 94.
Thank you very much. We have the Facebook group, the Arsenal Facebook group. You can join if you'd like to contact us. You can at @e_ArsenalNet, all one word. I've been Neil, your host. I'm on Twitter at the 91st Neil. That's the 91STNEIL. You can contact me for anything. Both abuse and compliments are welcome. Really don't mind. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you after the Bournemouth game on Sunday. We'll see you then.